At the DB Regio depot in Dortmund, an ordinary electric locomotive of Series 101 was transformed into a real eye-catcher. 101064 was selected to wear a special design on the occasion of Märklin's 160th anniversary, showcasing important moments in the company history. Like no other kind of toy, model railroads can connect generations. Märklin especially has brought joy to many people for decades. Even the professional is impressed.
Also ich muss sagen, ich bin begeistert. Das ist ein wunderschönes Motiv.
I am really stunned. The design is incredibly well done with 4 different patterns on each side, front and rear. It really turned out beautifully. There is no doubt about that.
Das ist schon toll geworden.
While the sides are relatively easy to manage, the front and rear end are far more difficult areas. The prints were designed at the advertising department at Märklin. The latest computer technology was used to optimize the designs on screen. The slogan was created here as well.
Wir wollten den Menschen an der Bahnstrecke und in den Bahnhöfen einfach mal wieder was richtig Schönes geben.
Our goal was to create something beautiful for people on railroad platforms and along the tracks to see. Märklin has been an important institution for 160 years, and we thought that this was especially well captured by these old pictures. Our first job was to rummage through old catalogs and images and find those pictures that appeal to each and every person. I think that with our choice of Series 103 and V200, we managed to create something really terrific.
103 oder der V200 uns ja ein richtig schönes Stück gelungen ist.
Especially Series 103 has been a legend for many years. It was given that this locomotive had to be featured in this design. It also includes a traditional family.
Ja, und das war auch so gewollt, weil
that was intentional. By picturing a traditional family structure, we wanted to evoke a sense of community and belonging for today's families as well. That's why this image nicely fit the overall message that this design was supposed to convey.
und identisch zu dieser Geschichte gepasst.
On the computer, the complete design is then created from various digital pictures merged together. We're back at the depot in Dortmund to enjoy a gem among historical Märklin toys, the metal assembly kit. Generations of children often had their first contact with technology through this item. The racetrack Sprint also was a popular item in many children's rooms. The front and rear end will both bear the Märklin logo. Of course, all foils had to be custom-made.
Das ist hier für die Verkehrsmittelwerbung eine zugelassene Folie.
This type of foil is permitted for use in public traffic due to its adhesive power. Even when the locomotive is traveling at higher speeds, it is important that the foils stay in place. Also, there is a layer of anti-graffiti foil to prevent graffiti spray paint to stick to the actual foil. All these sheets are custom-made to fit the engine. However, it cannot be used on curved surfaces. Finally, the DB logo is put in place as well. This concludes the wrapping process. The next morning, Series 101064 is being prepared for regular service again and is ready to leave the depot. Without its distinct stripes, the 101's face looks a lot prettier. The locomotive is greeted by bright sunshine, Surely it can be counted among the best-looking advertising locomotives in Germany. The German Federal Railroad is using Series 101 primarily for long-distance traffic, such as in front of Eurocity trains to Klagenfurt or Graz in Austria. Hence, it will spread the word of the 160th anniversary to the neighboring country as well. If and when this model will be realized in model scale remains a secret for now. The developers in Göppingen may have a surprise in store. One of the most impressive new items in 2019 is this lightweight fast train. Both Märklin and Trix have introduced a set of new cars in HVO.
Ja, die Mitteleinstiegswagen, das ist eine ganz neue Wagenfamilie bei uns im Programm. Mitteleinstiegswagen.
The centered door cars are the newest addition to our family of passenger cars. The additional door in the middle of the car were meant to allow for passengers to board and alight more quickly. This set will comprise first-class and second-class cars as well as a control unit and a luggage compartment.
Entsprechenden Steuerwagen mit Gepäckraum.
The cars measure 28.2 centimeters in length true to a scale of 1 to 93.5.
Das ist ein Maßstab, der sich mittlerweile sehr bei Märklin bewährt hat.
This scale has proven itself time and time again for the longer Märklin fast train cars. Many of our customers still have smaller layouts at home, and we have seen that cars in a scale of 1 to 93.5 can be comfortably used on narrow radii as well. We chose a nice setting for this train. This locomotive was located in Hagen, and the year is 1984. This train would have pulled regional trains from Hagen to Brügge in Westphalia. All cars are equipped with interior lighting and current-carrying couplers as standard. The former, however, only works in conjunction with the intermediate control unit, which accommodates a decoder. This is used for switching on and off the lighting. A great train for Era 4 layouts. Members of the Märklin customer clubs enjoy great benefits with over 100 partners. Often they only need to pay a reduced entry fee or are granted other discounts, provided they can present their up-to-date club membership ID. Now Märklin has formed a new cooperation with the Federal Model Railroad, which recently moved into their new location in Brakel. Here visitors can admire beautiful landscapes in a brand new venue. This is model railroad design and construction at the highest level. Long trains, such as this exemplar loaded with ore, make their way across the layout. Here Trix cars were included as well. Of course, new projects are lined up already.
Also wir altern ja auch bei der Modell-Bundesbahn alle Modelle.
Through the years we've also gained extensive experience with weathering all models on our layout. First of all, we used a primer in light grey on the entire viaduct. Afterwards, we had to hand-paint individual bricks to authentically depict the look of the limestone and sandstone. Afterwards, we added another layer of varnish. We really benefited from aerial photographs of the original viaduct, which helped us identify where the bricks looked more weathered. Here we had to add more varnish in a dark brown or rusty brown. This way we managed to create as true a depiction of the original as possible.
Konnte man da möglichst nah an die Realität ran.
A look at the original proves how perfect the HVO version really is. The group decided to take the model to its large prototype for direct comparison, the Beke Viaduct in Altenbeken. The miniature version truly is a masterpiece. We might even have broken a German record for the longest model railroad viaduct in HVO that is 100% true to scale. I know that there are longer viaducts, however. They either aren't true to scale or they don't have an original prototype in real life. We can already look forward to many more wonderful projects here at the Federal Model Railroad. At the Märklineum, constructions are underway. A gigantic layout is evolving. Of course, this calls for careful planning as well as special skills that need to be practiced before they can be tried on the actual item, such as building the tracks.
Weil in so einer Dimension wurde hier im Haus noch nie eine Anlage gebaut.
We never built a layout as large as this one. Therefore, we first had to print out the design in its actual size and use as a stencil. This allowed us to cut out the wooden foundation for the tracks and fit to the dimensions and radii of the tracks. Finally, we also drew the track layout on rubber mats, cut them out and glued them onto the wooden panels.
Ausschneiden und aufkleben.
The layout will be built primarily with flexible tracks from the K-track assortment. Preparations are necessary before the ballast can be added as well. A foundation has to be built first using these rubber mats. Flexible tracks were also used for the hidden underground yard. Finding the perfect glue for fixating the ballast wasn't all that easy. We can see here that with this glue the ballast remains softer, whereas with the other type of glue it is really rock solid.
Aber man hört es halt extremst, dass
You can hear the difference as well. The more solid glue, which is a mixture of water and wood glue, does not muffle the noise created by trains at all, whereas the soft, flexible glue allows the tracks to move more freely.
der flexibel ist, sie schwingen eher.
Those are great tips for any model railroad constructor. At the next IMA, this layout is sure to attract many visitors. It is always very beneficial to observe the professionals at their daily routine. By the way, the IMA has many more attractions in store. Especially the local train stations will be worth a visit as many guest locomotives will be arriving on the occasion. The 36th International Model Railroad Exhibition IMA and the 12th Märklin Days will be held in Göppingen from September 13th through 15th. Well-maintained equipment will do the job nicely. The heater is meticulously preparing his 4-axle steam engine for its next run here on the Franconian Steam Railroad. For the 11th time, the Verlagsgruppe Bahn, a publisher focusing on train and railroad magazines, are holding their Golden Tracks Awards ceremony. The Golden Track is awarded for outstanding products in the model railroad industry. This time, the readership of the various publications distributed by the Verlagsgruppe Bahn had voted for their favorite models in 2018. Prior to the awards ceremony, the guests could enjoy a trip on an extra train. While the steam train was making its way through idyllic landscapes, we learned a little more about our draught halls. This is a type Elna 6 locomotive, which is a standardized steam engine designed for privately owned railroads. It was built in 1930 and will celebrate its 90th birthday next year. During its active years, it was used for operating coal trains near Aachen for many years. Nowadays, the little engine operates on the line between Ebermannstadt and Beringsmühle, which has been closed for regular train traffic since 1976. Is this a challenging route?
Nein, ist sie nicht. Sie ist
Not at
relativ
all.
eben.
It's rather flat with only a few ascents. However, there are quite a few bends, which is not difficult for us, but it causes a good deal of wear on the wheels and also to the tracks themselves.
Dringend, weil die Radreifen abgenutzt werden.
Franconian Switzerland is an ideal environment for hiking and cycling, and always worth a visit. Later, awards were given to the winners in 19 categories, the most coveted award being the one for half-O steam engines. Stefan Alkofer, editor-in-chief at the magazine Modelleisenbahner, gave the laudatory speech. The 08101 by Märklin was a rather unexpected winner. After all, only a single prototype of this engine was ever made.
Herr Bächle, Herr Müller, ich darf Sie auf die Bühne bitten, Ihr goldenes Gleis abzuholen.
The delegation from Göppingen was surprised and delighted at the same time. Wolfrat Bächle first addressed Hagen von Ortloff, who is a known admirer of the American Big Boy.
war an seinem 70. tatsächlich drüben.
For his 70th birthday, he went to the States to see this engine up close. And ever since, he has been pestering me as he wants us to create a model even bigger than the 08, for which we have just received the Golden Track Award. Well, all I can say is, let's wait and see. The American Giant is the world's largest steam engine. After being as good as extinct, it was recently rebuilt. But let's go back to our wonderful Sirius 08.
Märklin hat sich engagiert und hat gesagt, diese Geschichte muss weiterlaufen. Wichtig war uns, einmal den Ostmark anzusprechen.
With this model, we also wanted to focus on our customers in Eastern Germany, along with our other loyal Märklin fans. We wanted to show that we are well able to depict a locomotive in its entirety with all the small details. We are very grateful for this award, and I want to thank all of you for this honor. As a matter of fact, this great model is now sold out. An outstanding locomotive that deserved to be voted in first place by the readership. As usual, Hagen von Ortloff was the event's host. A crocodile made by Märklin was victorious in the category Foreign Locomotives in HFO. This version shows the crocodile as a switching locomotive with an authentic weathered look. The model comes with telex couplers as well as numerous nice little details. During the awards presentation, Wolfrat Bächle shared some of his extensive knowledge with the audience. In 1965, the crocodile was largely removed from active service, with the last crocodile operating until 1986. 7 crocodiles have lasted until today and can be found in various locations. Among those, one of the crocodiles in the switching version survived as well. It can be found at the Museum of Technology in Sinsheim. The Märklin model, however, will be populating many model railroads in the future. This excellent model well and truly deserved the Golden Track Award. Klaus Eckert of the Züge magazine gave the laudatory speech.
Kommen wir jetzt zu unserer letzten Kategorie.
The new semaphores by Märklin won first prize in the category Technology. You may wonder why Märklin bothered creating new signals. I still have the beautiful old semaphores from my childhood days on one of my own layouts at home, and they work perfectly. Märklin wanted to create something new. Signals on their own wouldn't do. We had to come up with something special, and in this case, it's the bouncing motion of the semaphores themselves. Also, they can be installed above and underground, depending on the layout design. At any rate, the bouncing motion makes for an authentic appearance. And that looks really great. Märklin was able to take away 3 golden tracks, an unmissable sign that the right choice of products and top-notch quality appeal to the customers.